Hello guys, welcome to OA Level Math, and this one is paper 1-2 of October-November 2020. This is for paper Add Math. Now let's move on to question number 1. So we have a curve, it intersects a line at two distinct points. So that's the main thing here we need to know. Two distinct points. So whenever you see that, you know you have to use b squared minus 4ac is more than 0. Okay? So we have to use this information to find the values of k. So one by one. Here we have y, here we have y, so we solve simultaneously. You have 2x squared plus k plus 4 equal to k plus 4x. Now send everything to one side, you will have 2x squared plus, so plus become minus over here, minus k plus 4x and plus k plus 4 equal to 0. So now we can see that this is A, this is B, and this is C. So we will use b squared minus 4ac is more than 0. So b squared is this one, so this is A, B, and C. Minus square minus 4 times A is 2 and C is k plus 4 is more than 0. Now we have to expand the brackets. So square minus become 1, right? And here we have k squared, and here will be plus 8k and plus 16 minus 8 times k plus 4. Okay, so now we can expand. You will have k squared plus 8k plus 16 minus 8k minus 3, so 3, 2 more than 0. Now we have to simplify. So you will have k squared, so this one will cancel out. This becomes minus 16 more than 0. So now we have to use the critical values to find the values of k. So basically, critical values of k will be k squared minus 16 equal to 0. So you will have k squared is equal to 16. K can be plus minus 4. Now this is not your answer. Your answer will be determined by the graph. So here we have k squared, positive value. So your shape will be like this, right? And this first value here will be minus 4, and this will be 4. So we have to look at this condition. Here we're looking more than 0. This is 0 here. More than 0 will be above 0, will be this side and this side. So your answer will be k has to be less than minus 4, and k has to be more than 4. So there will be your set of values of k for which that is true. The main point here, you have to use this and then solve. You will have this as your answer. That is question number 1. Now question number 2, the diagram shows the graph of y, okay, where f of x is a cubic polynomial. So you have to understand what is a cubic function. It is basically we have x power of 3. That's when we call a function to be cubic. Anyways, this is your graph, and you have to find the equation for f of x. So here there's actually many ways of doing this question, but here I will go with the easiest ways. You can see that the graph passes through these points. You have this, this, and this. And this is your y-intercept, right? Y-intercept, basically at the point where the curve cuts your y-axis. That point is the value of 5, your y-intercept. But here to find the equation, we have to first use these 3 values. You can see this is where the curve cuts the x-axis. So as you guys know, at x-axis, the value of y is 0. So basically, you will have f of x equals 0 at the value of x-axis. Now, we have a few points where it meets the curve. The point is what? The value of x was minus 5, x was minus 1, and x was the value of 2. So now we have to use these values to find the equation of f of x. So step by step, send this one to the left side. You will have x plus 5, x plus 1, x minus 2. So basically now right now we can just multiply them. This is the factors of the function. Multiplying the factors of the function will give you the equation of the function. So x plus 5 multiplied by x plus 1 and then x minus 2. So one by one, let's see what do we get. So let's do this one first. X times this. So let's do this one first. So you have x squared plus x plus 5x plus 5. That is for these two first, and then this one will be the last one. You have x squared plus 6x and then plus 5. Then multiply by x minus 2. So this times this first you will have, or this times this first you will have x cubed plus 6x squared plus 5x. And then this time this will have minus 2x squared minus 12x and then minus 10. Okay, that is the expansion. Now we have to simplify. X cubed, this minus this will be plus 4x squared. This minus this will be minus 7x and minus 10. So that is the equation for now. But now you observe something that is, so of course it is equal to 0, right? Okay, so you observe we have to use this information here that you see the y-intercept is actually 5, which means the value here needs to be 5. So how can you convert minus 10 to 5? You have to divide by minus 2. So it can become 5. So it will be, so this will become, so divide by minus 2, so become minus 0.5 x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3.5 plus 5 equal to 0. So now you confirm this is plus 5 and this is plus 5. So f of x will be minus 0.5 x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3.5x and plus 5. That is your f of x for this graph. Okay, that is part 1. Now for part B, write down the values of x for which f of x is less than 0. Again, this is 0. Less than 0 will be below the line, so that will be this part and this part. So x will be between minus 5 and minus 1, and also x has to be more than 2 for it to be less than 0. That will be your answer for part B of question number 2. Let's move on to question number 3. So here we have to write down the amplitude of this equation. So for amplitude, pretty easy. We just have to look at this value here. In front of your function, you have a value. Look at this value. That will be your amplitude. So amplitude will be 2. Now for period, we have to look at this value. So we have 2 cos. Now what is x over 3? It is basically 1 over 3 times x minus 1. So we have to use this value to find the period. Period is equal to, now this one is a cos function, we have to use 360. Okay, so when you have a sine function, you also use 360, but when you have a tan function, you will use 180. So right now we have cos, we have to use 360, divide by this value, which is 1 over 3. So let's check what will that give you. So that will be 1080 degrees. But now if you want to, you can always convert that to radians, up to you. Now for part C, we have to sketch the graph, the same graph, for this domain. So pretty easy. I would say usually what I will do is I will first draw my baseline. Baseline is this part right here. It is -1. You can see -1. So this is y equal to -1 is called the baseline. So go right here, and then you just draw a baseline that helps you to draw your curve. Now, this is your baseline, y equal to -1. Now, we can add the amplitude 2 on both sides. That'll be 1, 2, and 1, 2. So we have 1, 2 will be, so 2 on the, going down will be -3, and 2 going up will be value of 1. So this is only an indication for you. So this is not part of the answer itself. You do this because you want to know where would your curve be. So your curve will be inside of this region. It will not go above or below these two lines. That's what it does for you. Now next step is to draw the curve itself. So now we can use a table of values to find the values of y. So let's do that, right? So let's put, this is y, we know, is equal to 2 cos 1 over 3x minus 1. So you want to find the values of x, and so we have the values of x, we want to find the corresponding values of y, right? So now we have this value here. So we take, usually to find a good interval, we take 90 divided by the value here, which is 1 over 3. That will be 270. So a good interval will be 270. So we can use that if you want to. Yeah, let's try. Why not? Let's try the values itself. Let's make it easy for you. Let's try to use these values and see what happens, right? First value is minus pi. Then we have 0. Then we have pi, 2 pi, and 3 pi. Just to see what happens. So change your calculator to radians. First point is minus pi, so 2 cos minus pi over 3 minus 1. That will be 0. Now we have 0 here. 2 cos 0 minus 1. That will be 1. Then we have pi. 2 cos. So we can use pi over 3 minus 1. That will be 0 as well. Here we have 2 pi. So 2 cos 2 pi over 3 minus 1. This will be minus 2. And then this one, we have 3 pi. So 2 cos, that will become pi, right? Because 3 pi over 3 minus 1 become minus 3. So let's make it easy for you just to use those values and see what happens, right? So on the graph, you will have minus pi will be 0. So it will be 0. And then we have 0 will be 1. Will be right here. And then we have pi will be 0. And 2 pi will be minus 2. And then 3 pi will be this point. Okay, so now we just have to connect the points to form your curve. So this will be this, something like this. Okay, so a curve will look something like this for this domain. Okay, that will be your question number 3. Okay, now let's move on to question number 4. So what do we have here? You say the 7th term and the 10th term of a arithmetic progression. So you know this already. Just write down your formulas first. You know the nth term, which is un, is equal to a plus n minus 1 times d. And the sum of the first n term is equal to half n 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So these are given to you on your list of formulas, so nothing to memorize here. So it is given to you. Now, we know that the 7th term, t7th, is equal to 158, and t10 is equal to 149. Okay, so we have to find the common difference, the value of d, and the first term, which is a, of this progression. So here we have to use this one, the term, right? So let's replace one by one. When we have t7, there will be a, we don't know, n is 7 minus 1 is 6d. So a plus 6d, t7 is 158. So a is equal to 158 minus 60. That is number 1. Now number 2, let's see what we have. We have 149 is equal to a plus, so 10th term, 10 minus 1 is 9d. So again, a will be 149 minus 9d. That is number 2. So here we have a, here we have a, we can solve simultaneously. So you will have 158 minus 60, 149 minus 90. Send this over here, you will have 3d, and this over here you will have 149 minus 158 will be minus 9. So d will be minus 3, and a, which is the first term, will be 149 minus 9 times 3. That will be 122. So your answer will be, the common difference d will be minus 3, and the first term is 122. Okay. Now for part B, we have to find the least number of terms, that is what term, right, of the progression for this sum to be negative. So the sum, we have to find the sum when it will become less than 0. So find the value of n for which the sum of the first something term will become negative, which is less than 0, right? Find the least number of terms of the progression for their sum will be negative. Sum of the first n term will become negative. Equation is half n, 2 times a is 122, plus n minus 1 times d, which is minus 3, bracket less than 0. So first thing first, we can eliminate this by multiplying 2 everywhere. This will go away. You will have n, so 2 times 122, that will be 244, minus 3n plus 3, less than 0. Now we can solve. So first we can simplify the inside first. You will have n here. You will have 247 minus 3n less than 0. Okay, so again we can just solve this by using critical values, right? Critical values. So we can divide by n because we don't need 2 values of n here. So 2 values, we can just divide n because we don't need this n equal to 0. Divide by n, you will have 247 minus this is less than 0. So this will become this, and 3n, because we're dividing by minus, the sign will change to more. Sorry. Minus 247 divided by minus 3 become 82.333. N have to be at least more than this, so n will be 83. So that the sum, when you add the sum of the first 83 terms, it will give you something negative. Because the term here is not exact, we cannot take decimal values for a term. So n has to be 83, so the sum will become negative. Okay, that is your question number 4. Now, question number 5. Find the coefficient of x squared in this expansion. So we only care about something in the x squared expansion. So this one will be, if you expand this, you will have x times x plus 2 over x 5 cubed, right? And then we have 3 minus 3 over x times x plus 2 over x 5 power 5. Now we only care about the coefficient of x squared, so we only care about the term in x squared. So how can you expand this one? So we have something in x squared. So this one will be 5, choose something, then we have x here, then we have 2 over x over here. Now, for us to get something in x squared, we have inside to be something in terms of power x, just one, right? So that we can x times x become x squared, if that makes sense. So we have to put 3 here, put 2 here, and 2 will be here. How will that make sense? Because we need power of x, 1, so we need something with x power 1 inside, so when you expand you will have something in x squared. So by choosing this to be 3 and choosing this to be 2, we will get something with x power 1 inside. So 5 choose 2 become 10, x power 3 be 4 over x power 2. Simplify, that will become 40x. So this term right here becomes x times 40x. Then for this one, we have minus 3. So here we have, so let's forget about this. So we have to expand. So 5, choose something. We have the term x, and then 2 over x. Now, for us to get something in x squared, we need to find something in terms of x power 3 on the inside. So when you multiply this by this, something will be in x squared. So let's see. So we need this to be 4 here. So it can be 1. So this is 1. So that when you expand this, you'll get something in a cube. So 5 times x power 4, that'll be 2 over x. Simplify. That'll be 3. You will have 10 x power 3. So here you will have minus 3 over x times 10 x power 3. So simplify, you will have what? 40 x squared minus 30 x squared. That will be 10 x squared. So the coefficient will be 10. Now again, look, if you guys don't know how to find this by thinking like this, you can always expand everything, okay? You don't need to follow this way. If you guys cannot seem to find these values, you can always expand everything, expand one by one, and find the terms one by one, okay? There's always another way of doing the questions, okay? That is question number 5. Now, question number 6, we have f of x equal to this equation. Now, this is a domain where x is more than minus 1. So, question, given that the minimum value of the function occurs at x equal to minus 1, right? Explain why f has an inverse. So, this is because, you write, this is because for the domain x, so domain is always x is more than minus 1, we have the function f of x is a 1-to-1 function. That's why it has an inverse. So usually, what is the shape of this function? You would say, usually it seems to be a quadratic formula. It should be a parabola, right? It will be usually in this shape. So let's say it will be in this shape. Minus 1 should be somewhere like this. Something like this, right? Now, right now, it does not have an inverse. Why? Because if you draw a line here, you'll have 2 points of intersection, which means your function is not 1-to-1. But now, this is the point, x equal to minus 1. But now, because of this domain, right, our function is only defined for x is more than minus 1. So right now, your curve looks something like this. So this part does not exist because we define the function only for this values. So now when you draw this line, we have only one point of intersection. So because of that, it is a one-to-one function, and that's why it has an inverse. That is part A. Now part B, we have to what? On the diagram, on the axis, sketch the curve first and the graph of the inverse. Label each graph and state the intercepts on the axis. Okay, so one by one. So first, let's draw the first curve, right? So we have, of course, it is only for x more or equal to minus 1, I think. I think I'm missing the equal sign here, but it's not a big deal. You can always do it without it. That's okay as well. So you have this right now. So we have what? For the function f of x, let's find a few values. On the x-axis, we know y is 0. So let's put 0 here. You will have x squared plus 2x minus 3 is 0. So let's continue here. So we factorize, you will have, to get plus 2 we have plus 3 minus 1. X will be 1 and x will be minus 3. So since x is more than minus 1, we don't take this value. X will be only equal to 1. Now let's find the value on the y-axis. On y-axis, x is 0. So f of, so let's find the value. So f of 0, that will be 0 plus 0 minus 3, that will be minus 3. That will be 0 minus 3. That will be your value on the y-axis. Okay, so let's do that for the first one. So here you can see it is only a sketch, so it doesn't need to be exact. It can just roughly be some values. So let's mark a few values here so we have an idea. Then here we have so here we will have minus 3, right? So you will have, so what is the value first on, when x equal to minus 1, what is the value of y? Replace minus 1 squared plus 2 times minus 1 minus 3 minus 6. Be somewhere around here. So minus 1, for that value, it was somewhere about this point. So let's draw this here. So we have 4, 5, 6. Minus 1 will be about 6. And then the value of 0 will be about, this is 6. This was 1, 2, 3 for your intercept, minus 3. So it'll be something like this. And then it cuts your x-axis at the point 1. 1 should be here, according to my scale, right? So let's do that. It's not perfect. I think I kind of messed up a bit because I should be more straight, as you can see here. Let's try again. So don't look at the blue line, look at the black line. So be more straight. Yeah, something like this. Should be more straight and touches these 2 points. You get the idea, right? Should be something like this, right? Now you can continue this if you want to, up to you. And now we have to draw the inverse line. So the idea here is, inverse is basically the reflection on the line y equal to x. So this is your line, y equal to x. So the reflection will be just something like this, okay? doesn't need to be exact, so it should be something. So 1 here will be at this point, 3 will be, so it's not exact. So you can see I made it's not a mistake, but it doesn't help me to draw my diagram properly, but let me try anyways. The idea here is what you should have done is you should have labeled this as 1 and 2, minus 1, minus 2. It will be much easier for you like that way because your scale will be same for both. But now anyways, you get the idea that we have to do a reflection in this line. So it should be reflecting kind of this way. Should be touching here, exactly. So you will be using a pencil, right? You can always erase and try again. And that will be this one. That should be something like this. Keep going on, straight. So this has to reflect to this, reflecting to this, and this joint in the between. Basically has to be a reflection. Now, again, when you will do your drawing, you will have a better scale. This will be 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2, and minus 3. So it is much better than this right here. So it will be something like this and like this. The idea here is how to be a reflection for the graph. This will be f inverse and y equal to f of x. That's the main idea. That will be question number 6. Let's move on to question number 7. So we have an equation y for this domain. Find the equation of the normal to the curve at the point this. So again, to find the equation of the normal, you first have to find the gradient of normal. Now, to find the gradient of normal, you first have to find the gradient of tangent. And everyone knows this is basically equal to dy by dx at the value of x given to you as root 2. So let's see how can we find this one first. So here we have this y. We have to find dy by dx. So you can see this one is a fraction. We have to use the quotient rule. So dy by dx will be, first thing we have to write the base as it is, and then differentiate the top. You will have 1 over the value here, 3x squared minus 5, and then multiply by the differentiation of this one. That will become 6x. Then minus the top value, this one, and then multiply by d by dx of this one. It will become 2, and everything will be divided by the base square. Okay, so you will have this for now, and then we have to simplify a bit. You will have on top, you will have what? This will become 6x 2x plus 1 over 3x squared minus 5, then minus 2 ln of 3x squared minus 5, and everything divided by 2x plus 1 squared. So now you have to find the value of dy by dx at the value of this. So let's say at x equal to root of 2, let's find the value of dy by dx. That will be 6 times root of 2 times 2 root of 2 plus 1 over the value of 3 times 2 minus 5 minus 2 ln 3 times 2 minus 5, and everything divided by 2 ln 2 plus 1 square. Okay, so let's see what happens now. This is a pretty big number. I mean, not number, a big expansion. Let's see what we can do here. You will have 12 times 2 plus 6 root 2. Then here we are minus, so it becomes minus 2 ln 1. This is over 1, right? 6 minus 5 is 1, and everything divided by 2 root 2 plus 1. Okay, so now let's simplify. Look, this one is actually, it's pretty easy to make mistakes. You can see it is a long thing to do. So if you see any mistakes, let me know. I usually make silly mistakes, but for now I think it should be fine. So let me know if you see something that is not good. There should be 0. If you check, ln 1 is 0, right? So here we have 24 plus 6 root 2 divided by 2 root 2 plus 1 squared. So what is this value now? So let's check. 24 plus 6 root 2 over, that will become 4 times 2 will be 8 plus 4 root 2 plus 1. That will be 24 plus 6 root 2 over 9 plus 4 root 2. And that is your value of gradient of tangent. Now you have to find gradient of normal. That will be minus 9 minus 4 root 2 over the value of 24 plus 6 root 2. So now you have the gradient of the tangent. You have to use that to find the equation of the normal. Normal. So we have x equal to this. What is the value of y? Y will be ln. That will be, so we have 3 times 2 minus 5 is 1 over something. Doesn't matter because this becomes 0. So the point here is root 2 over 0. So the passing point is root 2, 0. That will be x, y. So we have y minus 0 over x minus root 2 equal to minus 9 minus 4 root 2 over 24 plus 6 root 2. So now we have to cross multiply. You will have 24y plus 6 root 2y equal to minus 9 minus 4 root 2 times this value. Okay, so now you can stop right here if you want to. I mean, it doesn't tell you should be in any form, so you can. But I would say you have to expand because it is more pretty if you expand everything. But I will not do this. It seems to be too long for me. But you get the idea. You have this. Make y become subject. So and then you have to. Let me do this part for you. So y becomes subject. You have minus 9 minus 4 root 2 x minus root 2 divided by 24 plus 6 root 2. Now you can definitely simplify this if you want to, up to you, but I have no more space, so I will stop right here. Now for part B, find the approximate change in the value of y as x increases from this to this value. So this one is pretty easy. You just have to know the formula. The change in y is equal to dy by dx when x equal to this value times the value of h. So this was found already. It is equal to this, so this became this value. So you have 24 plus 6 root 2 over 9 plus 4 root 2 times h. Now of course you can just simplify this on your calculator. Something about 22 something h. But of course, if you see any mistakes, you can let me know in the comments because this one is a long expansion question. There may be some mistakes, but the idea here is you first have to find dy by dx and find the value, and then find the normal, the gradient of the normal, and then find the equation. So that's the main idea. If you did that in your test, you should be getting some marks for sure. Now will be question number 9, and this one is only a formula, which is this times h. Pretty easy. Now let's move on to question number 8. So we have to find the number of ways in which 12 people can be put into 3 groups, 3, 4, and 5 people respectively. So pretty easy. First is 12. We have to choose 3 people, right? That's for the first group. And then from the remaining we have 12 minus 3 is 9. We choose 4 people. And then 5, choose the 5 people. So 12 choose 3 times 9 choose 4 times 5 choose 5. That will be 27, 7, 2, 0. That is first one. Now for part B we have a 4-digit numbers are formed to be used using the 4 digits of we have 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So we have to choose 4 numbers from them to form the 4-digit number. Now, each number can be used only once. Find how many 4-digit numbers can be formed if there's no restriction. Pretty easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9. So for the first number, we can choose anything. We have 5 options. Then we have 4 options. Then we have 3. Then we have 2 options. So we have to multiply the number of options to get the answer. That will be 120. Now if you know how to use the formula, you can just do this. So we have 5 numbers. We can permutate 4 numbers. 5p4 should be the same answer. Okay, now part 2. The number is even. So again, let's look at the numbers. We have 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So we only have 2 even numbers here, which is these 2. So we need to form a 4-digit number. So for the number to be even, we can only end with 2 numbers, which is these 2. So we have 2 ways of ending the number, which is these 2. Let's say we choose this number. Now for the rest, we can choose anything. We have 4 options. Then we have 3 options. And then we have 2 options. That will be 4 times 3 times 2 times 2. That will be 48. Now for part 3, the number needs to be greater than 7,000 and it needs to be odd. So here we have 2 conditions. We have to look at them one by one. So we have 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So let's see where are the odd numbers. We have this is odd, odd, and odd. Now which number we need to be more than 7,000? We can begin with this, this, and this. Okay, so let's choose one option by one, so case by case. So first case, if you begin with 7, right, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, four space to put the 4 numbers, right? Now begin by 7, we have only 1 7, so we have only one option of beginning. 7 is gone now. Now it needs to be odd. We have, if 7 is gone, we will have 3 and 9. We can have 2 options of ending the number for it to be odd. Okay, so now say we choose, let's say 3 is gone, 7 is gone. Now we have 3 numbers remaining, so we have 3 options. Let's say we choose 2, and then we have 2 numbers remaining. We choose 8. So here we go. We have 1 times 3 times 2 times 2. That will be 12. That is for case number 1 when you begin with 7. Now case number 2, if you begin with the value of 8, you have 1 space here, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. So we have 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. This is odd, odd, odd. And we need to begin with these numbers so it can be more than 7,000. Begin with 8. We have only 1 8, so we have only one option. Now it needs to be odd. We have 3 options now of ending the number for it to be odd. Let's say we choose 3. Now for these 2 numbers, we can choose anything. We have 1, 2, 3 numbers remaining, so 3 options. Then we have 2 options. That will be 1 times 3 times 2 times 3. That will be 18. And finally, we have option number 3. We can begin the number, begin with 9, right? So it can be more than 7,000. So now we have, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So this is odd, odd, odd. And this is to begin with, and begin with. So because we are beginning with 9, we have only 1 9, so we have only one option. 9 goes away. Now what do we have? We have to end by an odd number, so we have only 2 options remaining, so 2. Let's say we choose 3. Now these two, we have 1, 2, 3 options. Let's say we choose 3. We choose anything, we have 3 options. And then we have 2 numbers remaining, we have 2 options. So they have to be 12. So the number of numbers will be, add everything, 12 plus 18 plus 12. So your answer will be 12 plus 12 plus 18. That will be 42, will be your answer for this question. That is your question number 8. Now let's move on to question number 9. So we have a equation of y. We have to show dy by dx equal to this, where a and b are constants. So this one is clearly a product, so we have to use your product rule, right? So d by dx. So we can first leave the first one by itself, and then find d by dy of this one. So this is, you must know when you have square root, it just means plus 3 power half. So d by dx of this will be half 4x plus 3 minus 1, you get minus half, times the value d by dx of the inside, that will be 4. Then we have to press plus, not press, but write plus, and you have to write the second one as it is, 4x plus 3, multiplied by d by dx of the first one will be 2. So simplify, that will be 2. So you will have 2x minus 1. We bring this down, it becomes root of 4x plus 3 plus root of 4x plus 3. This is 2. So now we can definitely make it become the same base, because we have different base right now. So you will have same base, expand, you will have 4x minus 2 plus 2 times. So when you make this become the same base, you have to multiply these two together. So you will become 4x plus 3. You have to know this. Square root of 4x plus 3 multiplied by square root of 4x plus 3. It is the same as saying, let's call this a and let's call this a. So a square root times this. This is basically power half times power half. That will become half plus half. That will become a power 1, which is a is the inside value, is 4x plus 3. So this time this will become 2 is outside, this will become just 4x plus 3. Now simplify, 4x minus 2 plus 8x plus 6 over 4x plus 3. That will become 12x, and we have minus 2 plus 6 will become what? Plus 4. Okay, now we can factorize 4 outside to make this become like this. You will have 4 outside, you will have 3x plus 1 over root of 4x plus 3. And this is your answer for part A. Now for part B, hence write down the x coordinate of the stationary point of the curve. So you must know, at the stationary point, dy by dx equal to 0. So we have 4, 3x plus 1 over root has to be equal to 0. Now 0 is 0 over 1. We can cross multiply. You will have 4 times 3x plus 1 equal to 0. So 3x plus 1 equal to 0. X will be minus 1 over 3 as your answer. Now for part C, determine the nature of this point. So nature, as you guys know, we have to use d2y by dx2. So right now we have this as this. We can simplify. We can use the quotient rule because it is a fraction. So first we write down the base as it is. Then multiply by d by dx of this one. That will be 4 times 3. And then minus sign, write the top as it is. Then multiply by d by dx of this one will become half. 4x plus 3, power minus half, and times 4. And everything, of course, divided by the base square will become 4x plus 3. Now here we only care about the sign, right? So let's see. When the value of x is equal to minus 1 over 3, what is the base value? 4 minus 1 over 3 plus 3. That becomes a positive value. That's all we care about. We don't need the value. We just need the sign. Now for the top, we can somewhat simplify. You will have 12 4x plus 3 minus 4 times 3x plus 1. This will go away. You will have 2 here over root of 4x plus 3. Now let's see what do we have for those values. So this we don't care because it is positive. We don't really care about it. Now for the rest, let's see. So this one will become 8, right? Because 4 times 2 should be 8. So you will have minus 1 over 3 as your answer. So we have 12 times root of 4 answer minus plus 3. And then we have minus 8. So let's use 2 brackets. So we have 8, 3 answer plus 1 divided by bracket root of bracket 4 answer plus 3 brackets. Let's see what happens. Become a positive value. So everything will give you something positive. So this will give you a positive value. We can just say, since d2y over dx2 is more than 0, we determine that the stationary point is a minimum value. Of course, you can try this for yourself, but the point here is you have to find the sign of this one. If it is positive, it will be minimum value. If it was negative, it will be a maximum value. So try for yourself and see what you get. Now let's move on to question number 10. We have p of x equal to this equation, where a and b are integers, so these are whole numbers, has a factor of x minus 2. Okay, that's good to know. Now given that p of 1 is equal to minus 2 of p is 0, find the values of a and b. Okay, so first let's use this information. Has a factor of x minus 2, which means x minus 2, equate that to 0, you will have x equal to 2. So basically, p of 2 have to give you 0. That's our first information we can use. So let's do that. 6, 2 cubed will be 8, plus 4a, plus 2b, plus 2 have to be 0. So you will have, let's see, so 6 times 8 will be 48, but let's check. Plus 2, 50, so you will have 4a plus 2b plus 50 equal to 0. Divide by 2 everywhere, you will have 2a plus b plus 25, 0. That is your first equation. Now next one, we have this one. P of 1 is what? 6 times 1 plus a plus b plus 2 equal to minus 2 of p of 0 will be 2. Right, because put 0 here, 0, 0 becomes 0, then we have 2 remaining. So you will have a plus b plus 8 equal to minus 4. A plus b equal to what? Minus 12. That is your equation number 2. Now we can solve a simultaneous equation. So here let's make b become the subject. B will be minus 12 minus a. Here we have 2a plus b will be minus 12 minus a plus 25 equal to 0. 2a minus 12 minus a plus 25 equal to 0. So this minus this will become a equal to what? 13, because minus 12. So we have minus 12 plus 25, 13. Send this to this side, become minus 13. Now value of b will be minus 12 minus minus 13 will be 1. So a is minus 13 and b will be 1. So let's double check the value. Let's put this in this equation, like in this one. 2 times minus 13 plus b should be minus 25, right? Okay, that is good. Okay, so now using the values of a and b, we have to find the remainder when p of x is divided by this. So let's do that. So now p of x is equal to what? It is equal to 6x cubed minus 13x squared plus x plus 2. Now this we have to find the value equate to 0. X will be half. So what is p of half to find the remainder? 6 half cube minus 13 half square plus half plus 2. So you will have 6 times 1 over 8 minus 13 1 over 4 plus half plus 2. So let's see what we have. That will be 0. So I think there's really something wrong here because it is asking for the remainder and this one is not a factor, so it should not be 0. Let's check again. 6 times 1 over 8, that should be 3 over 4, minus 13 times 1 over 4, that will be minus 2.5. So here we have to plus, so it becomes 0. So surprisingly, the value here becomes 0. So that is my remainder. It means that this is a factor of the function. So now, this is based on my values of a and b. If you do see any mistakes in the equation, let me know because it is pretty simple to follow what happens. If you see anything wrong, let me know. But for now, the way of doing this question is, as you can see, you have to equate to find the value of x, put this here, and then solve to see what happens. So for me, I have 0 here as my answer. But as you can see, it is very easy to make mistakes. If you see something wrong here, let me know, and we can correct this one for you. Now for part 2, we have to factorize. So let's see. Factorize this one. We have to do long division. So we have 6x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 2. So as you guys know, a is minus 13 and b is 1. I don't know why I write this. Let me do this again. So we have to write 6x cubed minus 13x squared plus x plus 2. So we know that the factor is given to you by x minus 2. Now we can find the other factors. So to make x become 6x cubed, you will have time to multiply by 6x squared. Okay, so you will have this time this, you will have 6x cubed minus 12x squared. Go away. So minus 13 plus 12 is minus x squared plus x plus 2. Now to get minus x squared, you have to multiply by minus x. Minus x squared plus 2x. This will go away. X minus 2x will become minus x plus 2. Right? So now to get minus x, we have to multiply by minus 1. So you will have minus x plus 2. That will be 0. So that will be your factor here. P of x is equal to x minus 2 times 6x squared minus x minus 1. So we have to factorize. There will be 2 brackets, and there will be 3x, there will be 2x, and 1 times 1. To get minus here, we have to have minus 3 and plus 1. So I confirm though this one is actually a factor indeed, because when you divide equal to 0, so this is indeed a factor of this equation. So which means that this is good. So there's no mistake here. The values that we have are good. This is the right factorization of P of x. Let's move on to question number 11. So in this question, all the length are in centimeters, and basically we have to find what? We're given R, this is also R, and we have to show that the perimeter of the shaded region is this. So in the question paper, this is the region that we need to find. This is the shaded region. Okay. And what is perimeter? It is a distance around the shape. So we have to find. So this one is not here. This one is not here. This is only a dotted line. So the shape is this, 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 and this. So we have to plus this, 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 and this to find the perimeter of this shape. So perimeter is what? It is A, which is AB is R, BC is 1.5 R, and plus R, plus R, plus EF, and plus R. So right now we have, let's check. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1.5 is 5.5. R, and plus EF is just FE. So we have to find the value of FE. So FE is broken down into a few parts. It is basically the same as this one. So you need to find this length. So what is this straight length BC? So now if you observe, we can play with the diagram. So we have this shape right here, this triangle. This is R. This is also R, right? It is given to you. Now we know that this is 1.5 R. The arc length is 1.5 R, which means, how do you find arc length? It is found by using your formula. Arc length is R times the angle right here. So which means the angle have to be 1.5 R divided by R, that is 1.5. So this is the angle 1.5. Now, what we can do here, if you want to find this side BC, we can break it down into two parts, because these two are exactly the same. So these two lengths will be also the same. So we can break it down into two parts. I call this one X. So right now you have another triangle, which is like this. X, C, O. This one is half of this will become 0.75. We know this is R, this is 90, and we're trying to find this one. So we have to use SOHCAHTOA, so we have to use sine. So sine of the angle is equal to the opposite side, which is XC, over R, which means XC is equal to R times sine of 0.75. Now, of course, you want to find BC. BC is 2 times XC, that will be 2R sine of 0.75. So now you can find the length of FE. FE is the same as A, B, B, C, and CD. So AB is R, CD is R, BC is this length. So FE have to be R plus this length and plus R. That will be 2R plus 2R sine 0.75. So add this back to this. You will have the perimeter will be, so this add this will be 5.5 plus 2 will be 7.5 R, and plus this one will be 2R sine 0.75, sorry. So factorize R outside, you will have 7.5 plus 2 sine of 0.75, and R will be outside. So that is shown as required. Question part B, we have to find the area of the region. Okay, so how would you find the area? So by observation, you can see you have to find this. So we have to eliminate this part. So you can first find the whole area and then minus this one. So let's call this one. This is B. So what is the whole area? The whole area is simply area of a rectangle. It is the length times the width. The length is FE. FE is given by this, so FE is whole area will be 2R plus 2R sine of 0.75. Length times width. Width is R. Now we can expand if you want to. You will have 2R square plus 2R square sine of 0.75. So we can simplify as well. So we have radians here. So 2 sine of 0.75 plus 2 will become 3.36 R square. Now you want to minus this area of B. So how can you find this area of B? If you observe, we can first find the area of the sector and then minus area of triangle, right? So area of sector can be found using your formula, half r square theta. Theta is 1.5. Minus area of triangle, half sine of 1.5 times these two. That will be r times r. So let's see, what do we have? That will be 0.75 r square minus half sine of 1.5. That will be 0.4987 r square. So 0.75 minus 0.4987, that will become 0.25 r square. So area of B will be this value. So let's find out. So the shaded area will be everything minus 0.25 r square. That will be 3.11 r square. And as you can see here, it says here the value of k is a constant correct to 2 decimal places. So here we have 2 decimal places. That will be your value of k, and it is r square. R square is right here, and that will be your question number 11. Okay, so let's move on to question number 12. The diagram shows the velocity time graph of a graph of particle P that travels this much distance in 90 seconds, reaching a final speed of v. Now find the value of v. So you have to use this information right here to find the value of v. So how do you find distance travel? You have to use area under graph. If you observe, we can break this down into two parts. We can break this down right here. So we have this, we can break it down right here. So you have area of A, which is this big trapezium. That will be half times sum of parallel sides. That will be 90 plus 70, right? Because this is 0 to 90 is 90. 20 to 90 will be 70. And times the height in between, that will be 30. And plus area of this triangle, which is half, times base, that will be, if this is 60, this should be 30, and times height. Height will be this one, which is v minus 30. Now we can simplify. So that will be half times 90 plus 70 times 30. That will be this plus 15 v minus 30 equal to, we know the value is 2775. Now you will have 2775 minus 2400. That will be 15 v minus 30 equal to 375. So v minus 30 is equal to, this divided by 15, that will be 25. So v have to be 55. So v here is 55. That is your answer for part A. Now for part B, it says write down the acceleration of P when time equal to 40. Time equal to 40 should be somewhere around here. As you can see, here the line is flat because we know that the acceleration is equal to the gradient. Because the gradient here is 0, it means that the acceleration have to be 0. Because of that. And you can see here it says write down. Write down usually means you don't have to do any calculation. You can just write down the value directly. That's what it means. Now let's move on to part B of the question. The acceleration of the particle Q traveling in a straight line is given by this formula. So this is A for your acceleration. 6 cos 2x for acceleration. Now when time equal to 0, the particle here is at point O, which means when time is 0, the displacement is also 0. Now this one is when time equal to 0, the value of v is 10. This is something good to know for afterwards. Now we have find velocity of this. So let's find that. We know that v is equal to integration of a by dt. That will be 6 cos 2x. I think it should be t, not x, because it's time by dt. Now you have to know something. What is the differentiation of? So usually of sine t, and sorry, integration of sine t and cos t. So if you don't know, you can always look back at what did you get when you differentiate sine? You get cos, which means if you differentiate, integrate cos, you should get sine. So we can use this information to find this. So you will have 6 is only a multiple, it will be outside. Integrating cos have to give you sine, so you have sine 2t. Now because here we have 2t, we have to divide by the value 2. Okay, so of course we have to write plus c. So v has to be 3 sine 2t plus c. Now you want to find this value of c because we know this information. When time equal to 0, v is 10. So we have 10 here. When time equal to 0, so 3 sine of 0 is 0 plus c. So c equal to 10. So finally, we know something is that v have to equal to 3 sine 2t plus 10. Okay, that is your value of v. Now for part 2, find the displacement of q from O at time t. So same thing, displacement is integration of velocity with respect to t. That will be 3 sine of 2t plus 10 with respect to dt. That will be 3 is only a multiple. This will become minus cos of 2t divided by 2 because we have 2 here, and then plus 10t plus c. This is s. Now we have to find the value of c. We know from the question this, we can use that. So basically, at time equal to 0, s equal to 0. You will have 0 here, minus 3 over 2, cos of 0 plus 0 plus c. So what is cos of 0? It is 1. So we have 0 equal to minus 3 over 2 plus c. So c has to be 3 over 2. So your answer has to be what? S is equal to minus 3 over 2 cos 2t plus 10t plus 3 over 2. Okay, so that was the last question of this paper, and I hope that was somewhat helpful. As you can see, I was rushing this paper. It is a late night session. I'm sorry about that. If you guys see any mistake, let me know in the comments. But anyways, as you guys can see, everything was done step by step for you. And if you have any questions, let me know and I will get back to you.